I definitely want to give it back to you, Curlins, for everything, man. I mean, Curlins came into this company and dominated. He's done some numbers that I have never seen. So again, I truly do appreciate you for having me on the line. Man, you guys, I woke up today just so many mixed feelings. Is it okay if I be transparent with you guys? I need to know if y'all can just drop some ones in the chat. If I could be very transparent. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I'm not a motivational speaker, but I will definitely show you what you're capable of because I was able to conquer a lot of things while building my business. Let me just tell you guys this. The reason why I'm a bit emotional today is because a week ago, that eviction that I had 4 years ago as I was building this FES business popped up on my credit 4 years later. And guess what FES did? They removed it a week later. So shout out to FES, UCES, super excited. But man, I really want to remind you guys every morning we have to understand how grateful we are, no matter what it is that you're going through. And I remember as I started building this business, I was going through a lot. I mean, at the time I was in an abusive relationship, newly mother, right? Man, there was times where I couldn't put $20 in my gas tank. I was just calling around. There was times I couldn't even afford diapers. I really didn't have the help, but I knew I always made a way. And I encourage you guys to make a way in your business because understand you're currently looking at a woman who turned her adversity, her pain into power. And everything that happens to you happens for a reason because, again, it's just the test to the money, right? The testimony. So anything that you're going through today, I urge you, see, this business, this is why I love this business. Instead of crying, right? Instead of crying or just going through it, I started to grow through it. And that's why I love network marketing because, again, it's really self-development with a compensation plan attached, right? If you're not growing, if you're not moving, if you're stagnant, you're dying, right? So I encourage you guys to stay plugged in. I mean, you got an amazing mentor on the line. Stay plugged in, but stay close to the fire because it's so easy to easily get distracted by the world, right? We have the naysayers. Oh, how's your little credit repair business going? I urge you to cut them off today. I want you to text that person and say, hey, look, I'm trying to grow my business. I don't need your negativity, so I'm going to have to cut you off. Because understand, in order for you to grow, we don't have time to gossip on the phone anymore. We don't have time to talk negatively about how our bills are hindering us right now because guess what? Everything that you throw out there, everything that you talk about, guess what? It comes right back at you. The universe gives you exactly what you want. And that's something huge that I learned really building this business. I learned that, you know, you are who you hang around. You are everything that you talk about, you're throwing it at the universe to manifest, right? And so one thing that I want to that I actually want to talk about is passion. You have to have passion in helping other people. I know it's very hard to where when we have bills, see, understand when I first got started, I was just overwhelmed by my bills. I'm like, okay, my rent is due, my car note is due. Like, what can I do? And when I really started to just remove that out of my mind and started putting my focus on helping other people, man, I'm telling you, the bills started to eliminate themselves. So again, you got to move with passion. Passion is the strategy, right? Not only is consistency the strategy, but passion is very much the strategy. You have to move with passion. You have to understand people come first. And what I love about this industry that we're in is credit is a necessity, right? It's not like we need to convince people to fix their credit. It's not like we need to convince people to make extra income because we don't. It's either you see the vision or you don't, right? And so again, I want you to understand that you're an asset, not a liability. This is how you're going to move in the company by knowing you're an asset and not a liability. See, how many of you guys believe you're an asset? Do you need to convince somebody to fix their credit? Drop some ones in the chat if you don't. Drop some ones in the chat if you don't need to convince somebody to make extra income. So when you start to realize that you're the asset and not a liability, I promise you, you will take off. But again, it starts with that mindset, having that positive mindset. Awesome. I love the ones. I love the ones. Now, what I want you guys to do is I want you to drop your biggest check into the chat. What was your biggest check in the chat? We're going to have some fun right now. Drop your biggest check in the chat. I'll drop mine. I'll go first. I love it. We see 4,000, 2,100. Mind you, FES pays us in a week. For those who are new, 3,400, 160. Congratulations, because that 160 will definitely go up to $1 million. 1,200, 766. Okay, so I see a lot of big checks. So drop your check of last week or this week. I'll drop mine. Okay. Okay, we see 800, 480. So can you agree, right? So let's go back to the checks. Okay, we see someone who said 2,100, 4,000. If you knew that you could make 4,000, wouldn't you believe bigger? If I knew that I could make that 27,000 in 1 week, I would have believed that I could make 100,000 in 1 week, right? So I want you guys to 10x that. Think a lot bigger, right? Because if I would have known that I would have been a 6-figure earner, I would have definitely went for $1 million, went for $2 million, went for $3 million. And that's what I want you guys to do this year. Think bigger, 10x, whatever it is that your goal is, I want you to 10x that. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And then I also want you to ask yourself, is 2020 going to be your biggest year? Amazing things happened last year. I think we went from was it 94 million? Was it 94 million to 194 million? Or 100 and, I think it was, yep, it was 94 million to about 200 million, you guys. Like, I want you to ask yourself, 2021 is going to be the biggest year. Are you going to be a part of that growth? Or are you going to let your challenges and the adversity and the trials and tribulations awesome. I love it. So again, I mean, I didn't really share my story, but again, you guys, before I even got started, I had my own credit repair company, right? And my company did not have a system. So I ended up having to get a job at a call center job. And one thing that really motivates me every day is knowing that I will never be broke another day in my life. I will never go back because I don't have to. And so the reason why we're having this conversation is because I want you guys to understand you deserve wealth, right? You deserve wealth and you could very much achieve it. I mean, you know Curlin's story. You know Valesky's story, was working at Walmart, what, 20, I think he's about 26, we're about the same age, was working at Walmart, you guys, living paycheck to paycheck. He's this SVP as well, doing $12 million on an annual basis. So God is just showing you, if we can do it, so can you. And so again, I just want you guys to dream bigger. I'm not going to take too much of your time, but again, I want you guys to dream bigger. I want you guys to 10x it. Whatever your income goal is, I want you to times that by 4, because understand this, it can definitely be achievable, right? We're the only person that can truly get in the way. And I want you guys to understand, anything that comes at you in life, it's just a stepping tool, right? A stepping tool to get you to the next level, because that's the only thing that I did different, man. I could have cried being evicted. I could have cried getting my car repoed as I was on a three-way call. But guess what? I just kept going like nothing happened. And I encourage you guys to just keep going, keep moving your business, because what you focus on grows. If you continue to focus on the adversity, guess what? That continues to come at you. But guess what? If you continue to grow your business and focus on your business and cut off the naysayers and actually stay close to the fire, plugging in with your upline, plugging into the trainings, guess what? Your business will grow to where you don't ever have to say, I'm broke. You will have that conversation of, I will never be broke another day in my life. And so again, I just encourage you guys to keep it moving. Again, turn your pain into power. Again, I was not trying to be on here that long, but I love you guys. Keep it pushing, keep going, 10x that income goal that you have. And I look forward to seeing you guys at the top. Y'all have a good one.
Hey, what up, what up, what up, what up? So, boss lady, I got a few short questions for you, right? Because I know so many people see your success story. So many people see you killing it in the industry. And I think, you dropped in the chat, if I'm not mistaken, because, my eyes were burning a little bit. I just had to make sure that I saw the chat right. I wasn't tripping out. But I think it said you made $27,000 in 1 week. I don't know if I'm tripping out or if I got a migraine right now, but I think that's what I saw. So coming from going through an eviction, facing repossessions, obviously things were super dark for you. What was it that really gave you a motivation to still keep going? Because I know before you got to the 27,000 in 1 week, there were many days you probably said to yourself, is this really going to work? So like, what was that driving force for you? Let me make sure that you're unmuted.
Okay. So, man, I just saw people my age who was very successful in network marketing, because I actually discovered network marketing when I was 16. And so I was like, man, that has to be me. And I was just always a risk taker. But one thing that really motivated me was the fact that I knew nobody else was going to do it in my family. It was up to me. And another thing that motivated me is just seeing how free everyone was, not having to go to the grocery store. How many of you guys ever went to the grocery store? You check your balance before you get to the register. Man, having to go through that, having to, put $10 in your gas tank because you don't have the full 20 or the full 30, like stuff like that. And again, I just know that if we don't do it, nobody else in our family is going to do it, because, we're already programmed to settle for less. We were programmed to not dream higher. I know this multi-millionaire, I can't remember who it was, but he said the world is professional complainers. Like, we were programmed to just complain, and limit ourselves. And so I'm just like, man, I know nobody else is going to do it, so I have to do it. That's what truly motivated me to push.
Man, that's amazing, right? And also too, it's a lot of boss ladies that's been watching you for a while. So those that are looking at your success today, they're like, well, obviously Ajeya then went through some challenges. She made it. I see it's possible, but they doubt themselves. For example, especially the ones that try to get their family in the business, and they're always getting the no's from their families, or they're always getting the no's from the close friends. Like, what would be like a piece of advice, because some of those people, if they go through like a cousin, a mom plus a best friend, and everybody say no, their thought is, okay, I'm calling my sponsor and I'm quitting, this is not for me. So what would be your advice to those people?
So when I introduced the opportunity, I remember when I first got started, I was talking about Alfred, like, he just got his Audi. I was like, Mom, he just got his Audi. He just got a 10K check. She's like, sound like a pyramid. You be careful over there. I don't even want to get involved. I'm like, all right, Mom. So like that, just hearing that and just having, because again, a lot of people don't have a bigger vision like us. Like you guys all paid the 288, meaning that you kind of visualize a lot bigger than the average person. So what really my I guess my advice is, you don't need, first of all, family ain't gonna get us rich anyways. And that's what I started to realize. And so, regardless if they get involved or not, you have to understand that you need your own support. You only need you, because every single day when you wake up, guess what? It's you. Every single day when you pay that bill, it's you. Every single day that you take care of your kids, it's you. So you really only need your support. Stop looking for validation from people who I mean, I feel like a lot of us, we look for validation from other people, but it's like, why do we look for validation from people we don't even want to change lives with? People we don't even want to, we can't even take value from. So again, if you don't have that type of support, just understand you don't need that type of support. See, I was by myself, being a single mom and not having, see, my family and friends just now today are just trying to get started, but let me tell you this, I had to disqualify my cousin because they can be a bit too much. So it's kind of good keeping them at a distance. But again, you don't need other people to support you. You don't need validation. Be the validator.
Nice, man. That's awesome. And I have a question. Someone said, I saw a lot of zeros in the chat. Dollar sign, dollar sign, dollar sign. How does someone reach Ajeya and Curlin's level? So what should be their daily activity, to reach executive vice president, or to even reach senior vice president where they're doing $1 million a month?
It's simple. How many people are you speaking to every day? Are you speaking to 10 people, getting 10 no's, and you're like, I spoke to everybody? First of all, 78 million people less than perfect credit. It's 80% of the population living paycheck to paycheck. We're probably, as we shoot, probably when we get to 65 or whatever, even then, like years from now, I know we will never reach 1% of the people who need help, because it's so many individuals. So sometimes people will, talk to 10 people, or they'll say, have you ever heard everybody from my city don't want to do this. So, the millions of people in that city, you spoke to all those millions in that city. Absolutely not. So the difference between, us and an agent, or us and, anybody else, is we just talk to more people. The systems are already there, but how many people are you talking to? There's ads you can run. I love running ads. I love shout outs. Why? Because it puts me in a whole new market. Sometimes we can continue to advertise in front of the people who already know we do credit repair. They're like, we know, Ajeya, we know. You got a discount coming up, we know. So you got to always put your business in front of new people. But and that's why I love the trial run. Again, it's like free advertising. You're tap rooting into other people's network indirectly.
Man,
Those exposed the most close.
that's amazing, man. That's amazing. And it's crazy to look at a senior vice president today that does $1 million a month. And that is just, super willing, openly able to help so many people rise up. And I tell people, because I hear this all the time, right? Where people come in, they're like, well, I just exposed this person. I just talked to 20 people today. I think I did enough. And I put myself in a place where I couldn't afford to make those excuses, because how I went through FES, I'm like, until I get a close, it don't matter if I talk to 10 people today. Until I get a close, it don't matter if I talk to 20 people, because I will draw it on my board. My goal is 5 agents this week. My goal is 10 agents this week. If that meant talking to 80 people before getting 5 agents, so what? You gotta imagine you're working 8 hours a day doing activities that you know you hate, but because you got a boss that you can't stand that's always telling you to do it, you just automatically do it. So if we program ourselves to attack this business the same exact way with the same exact mindset, I promise you, you'll be successful. I remember going through my list, burning through my list several times. People said they'll show up for the Zooms, they'll show up for the presentations, they'll show up for the PBRs. They never show up. And I looked at myself, I said, I could stop here or I can keep going. I started going to the colleges. I started going to Starbucks for no reason. I started going to the bars and ordering water just to be able to start conversations, start talking to people. Yes, there's a pandemic around. Yes, I want you to be safe, but that's not an excuse. You got Facebook where you can do the same thing that you would do at a bar. Spark a conversation in somebody's inbox. Spark a conversation in somebody's DM on Instagram. And guys, with that being said, we all can kill it. Ajeya, from Mogul Nation, over to you. We just want to share our appreciation, man. Right now it's 10:15 Eastern time, but if we take 3 hours away from that, it just turned 7 o'clock in Vegas, and you made the sacrifice to get on in here, not even benefiting from us financially, but just because the pure heart that you have and you're so willing to help so many other people, it was nothing to you. So let's show our appreciation, Mogul Nation. Let's drop some fire in the chat. Ajeya, we appreciate you. Thank you so much for everything. And guys, Mogul Nation for life. Let's go.
Acting stupid, what's happening?